What it do, baby? Sean Don coming back with yet another week of training footage. So this week is week 3 of program 1. Still throwing the 14-pound hammer. Slam session at the end of the week, so stay tuned for that. You get to see lots of throws at high intensity, and it's kind of some good stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Once again, I got 16 minutes of rambling. Excuse me, coffee. Give me some burps. So yeah, 16 minutes of rambling. Here we go. Let's see what I can rattle off and teach you guys this week. So Monday, felt pretty decent over the weekend. Took it pretty easy. Sunday went to the beach and had a nice relaxing day. Did some nice grounding, swam in the ocean a little bit, got slammed around by some waves. So Monday I was feeling nice and refreshed. Technique was okay. Nothing crazy. I'm still working on keeping the hands up, which is probably what I'm going to do for like the next 6 months. Got to keep the hands up, got to stay down on the legs. That's just kind of the way hammer throwing works. You know, it's not like you just do like something once and then that's it, and then you move on. You got to be able to do it until you can't get it wrong. Not, obviously that's just, the basic tenet of almost anything when it comes to being successful, especially in a highly skilled task like throwing the hammer. But yeah, 20-meter sprints this week instead of 10 and 15 in weeks 1 and 2. And yeah, once again, sprints. I was definitely starting to get a little bit fatigued by this third week, which is weird because this was kind of a deload week. I had 70% all week in the weight room. So like relative to those 3 rep maxes I was hitting the past 2 weeks, should have been feeling better. But then I also conditioning volume increased, which you guys will see later on. But like I said, 70% lifts on Monday, pretty solid, nothing crazy. Day 2, once again, this was, I think, probably the best I felt all week. So once again, doing a typical slam session week, the goal is always to feel the best at the end of the week. Normally it's like a little taper that I do. So like, as you guys will see later in the video, my throwing volume stays pretty steady. Intensity stays relatively the same. So like start out nice and easy, kind of work up a little bit. I think this throw right here, yeah, that throw right there was actually one of my best feeling throws all week. Wasn't really planning on it. Once again, just, some days the hammer moves and some days the hammer doesn't. And like I said, Tuesday was probably the best I felt all week. And it just be like that sometimes. Not every day is going to feel good. Not every day is going to feel average. Some days feel bad. Some days feel really bad. Some days you feel flat. Some days the ground feels extra grippy. Some days things just don't line up. But you got to get out there and do it anyways, because that is the process, and you got to love the process. If you want to succeed, you have to enjoy the process more than you enjoy the result. Yeah. Overall, day 2, like I said, that 5 turn from earlier was like 77 meters. So nothing crazy, but, it was a good mark to hit, especially heading into slam session later in the week. It got me kind of excited. And, and so as you guys can see here, like I said, conditioning volume increased. 3 sets of 10 on the tempo circuits, which was, on day, this isn't the right, I don't know, it says day 4 lifting, whatever, it doesn't matter. 3x10 tempo circuits, like I said, was pretty tough. Because it literally, once again, as I stated in my last training vlog, it just takes forever. It's just reps and time. Yeah, it's a little bit fatiguing, but like when I'm doing it, I'm just a little bit out of breath. My muscles are a little bit on fire. Like a mild smolder, nothing crazy. But it just takes so much time, and it's so monotonous. And I think that's probably why I was feeling flat. So like this is Wednesday. It's wet out. It's my first time wearing the Adidas throwing shoes in the rain, so it's going to take some time to get used to it. My right foot was slipping a little bit at the start, so I got to work on some balance issues and stuff like that. But like I said, after that Tuesday conditioning session and then after my Thursday conditioning session, I was definitely more fatigued than I thought. It was just conditioning, so it should just be aerobic fatigue, but for whatever reason, obviously, like I said in last week's training vlog, the body handles stress cumulatively, so all that aerobic stress carried over into everything else, and like I said, the rest of the week was just feeling very flat. And if you don't know what I mean by flat, I just mean some days you feel springy and bouncy and strong and explosive, and other days you just feel like a soggy bowl of oatmeal, something that I think I've trademarked back to like my first or second training vlog ever. Feeling like a soggy bowl of oatmeal. It still applies. That's kind of how I felt this whole last half of the week. Things started to dry up towards the end of practice, but still just couldn't really find my footing, couldn't really feel my feet working. And as you guys can tell, technique is just not there on Wednesday. Once again, things aren't going to feel great, but you just got to deal with it. Jumps are starting to feel a little bit better, surprisingly. Not great, but tuck jumps instead of hurdle hops because it was raining outside and everything was all wet. And I didn't feel like getting any more wet than I already had earlier in the day. Once again, another 70% lift here. Nice and easy, 3x5, 2x4 on these two lifts with some pull-ups. I was excited because I busted out a set of 10 on pull-ups, which unfortunately I didn't get on video. But you guys can see me just busting out this set of 7. I'm 248 pounds, 250 pounds depending on the day. And to bust out a set of 10 pull-ups is like something I've never done before in my life. I think I've maybe gotten like 6 or 7 at best. So to do a set of 10, especially after doing a set of 7, was pretty cool. Upper body strength is coming along. Not like you really need it for hammer throw, but, if you want to be an athlete, you got to be well-rounded. And it's good general strength stuff. It's helped my back health out a lot since I've come to Chula Vista, getting those lats stronger, helping the back stabilize itself. It's all part of it. It's all important. So, yeah, and then day 4 lifting here once again, 3x10 on the tempo circuits. This day, I think, actually made my soul leave my body. I was pretty much on autopilot for like that last, tempo circuit, 3x10 on the rower, which took like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It was like 10 minutes of rowing each set, which was just absolutely miserable. Once again, wasn't like super fatigued, but just was not enjoying it. It was some sadistic shit. But once again, here we are on Friday. Like I said, so I'm tapering. So like when I taper throughout the week for a slam session, this, as you guys can see, this throw session is pretty short. I think I took like 6 or 8 throws, a couple 5 turns, a couple 4 turns just to get a feel. And like I said, things were just feeling flat. The ground was feeling really rough. Like I said earlier, it just be like that sometimes. Ground's feeling rough, legs really not working the ground well, left shoulder being a little bit more shouldery than usual. Things just not moving like I would expect them to on the day before a slam session, like not quite in that pre-peak condition body feeling, whatever. And even lifting. All right, and let's just pause for a second. Let's look at young Brian Williams here, BW, wearing Crocs in the weight room. He's not just wearing them in the weight room. Like, he didn't just walk to the weight room wearing them. He did his entire lift in Crocs. So go shame that man. Go to his Instagram page and shame him. All right? Let him know I sent you. But kind of jokes aside. Yeah, like I said, still feeling flat on this Friday lift. The snatch grip deadlifts felt okay. The rows I was not feeling, and even these things, the landmine twist, just not feeling it. Like I cut back on intensity a little bit, so I dropped the weight on both the dumbbell rows and the landmine twist just because I was not feeling good. And I was like, I can't keep pounding myself if I want to throw far tomorrow. So cut back intensity a little bit. And yeah, so here we are in day 6, actual slam session on Saturday. Yesterday, because this is actually going to get posted on time. And yeah, so like I said at the first training vlog of this cycle, week 4. No, it's week 5. Week 5 training vlog. I said I would post some drills to compare. So as you guys can see, I did it was kind of the same stuff. It was all the same stick drills, pud drills, progressive turn series, wraparounds, walkarounds, all that stuff. For the most part, I once again cut back volume, so I did less of the left-handed stuff, and a little bit instead of doing 2 sets of some of the hammer drills, I'm only doing 1 set because once again it's tapering, just doing enough to get a feel, but not doing so much that I get fatigued. And especially on these higher intensity days, these slam session days, my body is like firing on all cylinders. So if I do as much volume as normal, I'll fatigue myself by the time I get like 4 or 5 throws in, which is no good. Overall, though, this slam session, like I said, was not a typical slam session in terms of how I feel. I'd say about like 75 to 80% of the time, I'm usually feeling pretty damn good on a slam session. Today was one of those days where I was like, oof, I don't know if this is going to be what I want it to be. The drills and stuff, like these pud drills, like they felt pretty solid. Like as you guys can see, I'm pretty stable. Technique's not moving around too much. I do look like I'm going a little bit faster than I want, and once again, that's body just firing all cylinders. I'm just relaxing, let the hammer, not the hammer, but letting the implement just kind of do its own thing. Balance was okay, but like even warming up, doing my general stuff, like my core activation and just like A skips and B skips and stuff, just didn't feel as crispy as usual. Like I said, had just been feeling flat, I think, because of all the conditioning stuff. Towards the end of the week on Thursday and Friday, I also didn't get sleep as much as I would have liked. Still got like 8 hours, but like when I wake up at 6 a.m. and I set my alarm for 6:30, I just get up. Like I'm not going to sleep in. I normally get up at 6:30 every day, and yeah, like I said, woke up without an alarm, woke up early, which is sometimes a good sign, but when I do it 2 days in a row, especially, the day or two before a slam session, especially 2 days before, the day of, I'm not too worried about it, but 2 days before, if I don't get like 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep, then usually it's not a good sign. But when it comes down to it, I'm an elite athlete, and I got to be able to perform no matter what, because you don't get a break. You don't get to make excuses. It's either you perform or you did not perform. So I kept that in mind, and despite how things felt warming up, which was not very good for the most part, like, yeah, arms felt relaxed, core was feeling kind of stable, but like just overall feeling for the hammer wasn't quite there. As you can kind of see, this low point and shifting a lot and in some of these drills, and just wasn't feeling the best. Like I said, not very physically prime, which was, like I said, kind of a disappointment. But it doesn't matter, because this whole vlog is essentially a lesson in stoicism, I guess. Discipline, perseverance, something like that. You just got to be able to keep on pushing even when things aren't going the way you want. Once again, life lesson to success, to become successful. So yeah, as you can see warming up, these throws were definitely not grooved in. I totally just skipped the 5 turns because my body was just like, nah, not today, bro. Ball wanted to go faster than my body wanted to go. Like I said, feeling very lethargic and soft. Not soft, soggy bowl of oatmeal. This throw was the first throw I had where I was like, oh, that's kind of something. Spent the next like 5-6 throws kind of searching for it again. Couldn't quite find it. As you guys can see, I was a little bit more erratic today than I normally am. Actually, scratch that. If you look at the rest of the video, it's about the same. But when it comes to a slam session, normally I'm putting like 80% of my throws down the middle. But today was not the case. It was 80% of my throws either down the left sector or the right sector. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's like every other throw goes a different way. There's not much consistency here because I'm really fighting for it. Because you got to do what you got to do. Like I said, I got to perform no matter what. So I took a little bit more throws than usual. And that was the one good throw I had right there. That was the one throw where I was like, yeah, that was kind of something. And it was sick because it was a new fall training best with the 14-pound hammer, which is nice. All my hard work in the weight room, hard work in the ring, and hard work on my diet and recovery and all that stuff, which, I mean, to be fair, I'm not working as hard as I could be because it's so early. But relatively speaking, I'm just trying to kind of work my way up over time. I don't want to go, firing on all cylinders, excuse me. right from the get-go. So I'm kind of working my way up. But I'm still working hard because obviously it's the Olympic year, and that's what it's going to take to make the Olympic team. No one's going to make that team on accident. So, yeah, really happy with that fall best. And then, the last lift of the week on Saturday, more conditioning and stuff. And then some 70% stuff on the squats, GHR, and ab rollout. Very straightforward. So, thank you guys for watching. If you guys found this vlog motivational, educational, whatever you want to call it, share it with a friend, share it with a teammate, share it with a coach. It helps me out. It helps you guys out, helps the throwing community out. So give it a share, subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video. I'd appreciate it. So thanks for watching. Sean Don, peace and out. Until next week. Goodbye.